Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Monday Night Sports Talk. I'm joined by my brothers Ali, Jack, and Ryan, and we're going to give you guys a lot of Jets content tonight. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson. We're going to talk about Woody Johnson. There's a lot of things that's going around about the New York Jets. Let's welcome our special guest this week, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. If you guys are not subscribed to him, make sure you do so. I linked it down below. What's going on, Ryan?
What's good, guys? Thank you so much for having me on again.
Always a pleasure to have you on. Ali, how about you, bro? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Ready to talk Jets for the first time. I'm positive.
Yeah, man, it's a very good energy surrounding the Jets organization. I'll start off with that. Jack, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm great, man. Very excited to get this going.
Yeah, let's do it. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is Woody Johnson is officially back as the active owner. There's a lot of things circulating about, is he going to come back, and what is he going to do? Like, what changes is he going to make to the Jets? Because the active owner is a big job. And as we know, he left in 2016, 2017. Christopher Johnson took over, and he did a good job fairly. I mean, he did hire Adam Gase, so we'll forget about that part. But so Woody Johnson tweeted out a lot of things, and I want to show you guys him. This was one of the things he tweeted out, welcoming Robert Saleh. I had a great conversation with Coach Saleh today, and would like to welcome him and his family to the Jets family. So that's refreshing, because there's a lot of people asking Coach Saleh, oh, did you meet Woody yet? Blah, blah, blah. And Saleh's like, no, I actually haven't. And everyone's making a big deal, like, oh, how did he not meet his boss yet? And I'm like, it's okay. Like, he knows Christopher Johnson and everything will be fine. Like, all these media people trying to dramatize things. He also had this to say about Joe Douglas. I'm proud of the foundation that has been laid by the leadership group of Joe and Jaime. This team has a bright future thanks to their hard work. So that's refreshing to see Woody Johnson is active on Twitter and trying to get back into the flow of being the active Jets CEO. So, Ryan, what's your thoughts of Woody coming back? And do you expect him to really have a huge impact on how the Jets are going to go about in the future?
No, I don't think he's going to have a huge impact. I think it's going to be just as much as Christopher Johnson has in the past. The one thing that we always give the Johnsons crap for is it seems like they're always meddling in the plans and everything. And now that Douglas is here, I don't think that's really going to be the case. They've changed the structure. Now you'll see owner, GM, head coach, and assistant coaches right on down the line. It sort of makes a little bit more sense, I think. But one thing that I can't criticize the ownership group of is they've always given whoever the GM, whoever the head coach is, enough assets to go out and spend the money, to go out and, get whoever they need to get. Usually it's the wrong guy. Like, we're going out to get Tebow, we're going out to get Le'Veon Bell, we're going out to get, Tremaine Johnson and those sorts of things. So hopefully with the right mind in there, we're getting more of the correct players in. But I don't think we're going to see any, monumental shift in philosophy or how we go about our business.
Yeah, I agree, man. And as you mentioned, the structural change is different for the first time. And what that is Coach Saleh is going to be reporting to Douglas, and Douglas will report to ownership instead of Douglas and the coach be on the same level. It's a little different. Will that change the whole aspect of a lot of things? I don't think so, but it's definitely something that people are talking about and we should know about. So, Ali, what's your thoughts of Woody Johnson coming back and sending out those tweets?
I mean, it's the same thing what Ryan said, honestly. I don't think it's going to be a big difference. It's going to be the same structure. They made it clear that's going to be Douglas calling the shots here. So I don't think the Jets have to worry about anything. The fans don't have to worry about anything. Media is going to do whatever they can to criticize the Jets in any type of way. We've seen that for years now. Even when the Jets do something positive, they find a negative out of it. So, I just don't think it's a big deal. I think Woody Johnson doesn't do trust the process and see what Christopher Johnson has done. He brought another hire in. Just trust Douglas, and that's what they need to do, and I think they will do that.
I agree, man. Jack, how about you, bro? What are your thoughts of Woody Johnson coming back?
I mean, I just totally agree with all three of you. I don't think it's going to be like a huge impact on this team going forward. I think the structure change that occurred this year it's a good thing. Like you said, Ryan, hopefully we just have like the right guy out in Joe Douglas making these decisions and stuff like that and sending them up the line to the Johnsons. Because, I just don't want them to have like, I know they're the owners of the team, man, but like, I don't want them to have like any say. Like, I want Joe Douglas to basically like, just be like, no, okay, you make this decision. You don't make that. Like Joe Douglas is running the show. Like, that's who we need with Saleh at like right there as well. You know what I'm saying? Like the Johnsons, thanks for owning the team. Thanks for having the money to own the team. But like, We don't need you. We got we got Joe Douglas and we got Saleh. That's fine. That's good with me. So like Woody, I don't think he's gonna make a huge impact, honestly, whatsoever.
All right, we'll see what happens with Woody Johnson coming back. As we know, the biggest topic surrounding the New York Jets all over the place is this beautiful man right here that is in Jack's screen right now. And his name is Deshaun Watson. And as we know, this man is apparently open to be traded from the Houston Texans, yada, yada, yada. The Jets are connected. He's number one on their list. Oh, that source is not true. We got people saying he does not want to go to the Jets. Reports are flying all over the place. And as we all know, a lot of Jets fans are on board. And there's some Jets fans that are like, you know what? Maybe it's not the right decision to trade our entire future for Deshaun Watson. Ryan, where do you stand? And do you think the Jets should pursue Deshaun Watson?
Yes, 100%. There's zero precedent for having a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, whatever you want to call it, hit the market or be open for a trade. The closest comparisons I have, Carson Palmer, Jay Cutler, both of which were not the caliber of his. And just to put into perspective just how good this guy was, he's one of 4 quarterbacks to ever have a 8.5 yards per attempt and 70% completion percentage in the NFL. So only 4 quarterbacks have done that. Montana, Young, Breeze, all 3 of which won the Super Bowl when they did that. Deshaun Watson's team is picking 3rd overall, or should be picking 3rd overall with the 3rd overall pick. To put in perspective just how poor this defense was, ESPN has been ranking defensive efficiency for 15 years and have ranked 480 teams. The Houston Texans for 2020 ranked 478th, so just 3 from the bottom. So for those of you guys out there saying that the Jets are a worse team than the Texans, take a look at those rankings. If the Jets are one of the other 2 teams that are lower, I'll agree with you, but I know they're not. That's just it. The Jets are in a great spot to get him. We have plenty of assets. We have plenty of money. There's no sort of bad ramification from this. People bring up the injury history. His last injury was 2017. Tom Brady had an ACL injury. Adrian Peterson has had an ACL injury. You go down the list. Guys recover from ACL injuries. And he plays the most protected position in all of professional sports, being quarterback. I think it makes a ton of sense. The Jets have the assets to do it. You go out, you give up. If you could do the Daniel Jeremiah trade where it's a first-round pick each of the next 3 years, home run, 100% home run. I'm doing it all day. I understand people are upset. They don't want to give up the number 2 overall pick because that pick is worth, a ton more. You have, if you look at the trade value chart, the 32nd pick, you'd basically, if you gave up the second overall pick, you'd basically have 4 or 5 32nd overall picks. So I understand why that pick is so valuable. But you're also getting a blue chip franchise quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. Like, that's what's so huge about this. And if you can solve that, I think a lot of the Jets' issues, while we were the 2nd worst team in the league, I think a lot of it had to do with motivation from players. I think guys that were banged up or nicked up would play through more injuries with a coach that they actually believe in. Like, Saleh coming here was such a huge culture shift for the New York Jets, and bringing in Watson with guys that actually want to play for him. Like, he is so respected around the league. And more so than just like his play, but I think the power move that he's pulling right now with the no trade clause is very comparable to that of which we see in like the NBA, and guys wanting to play together, and players want to see a player force themselves out of a situation, because the NFLPA is the weakest player association across all of professional sports. The average career length for an NFL player is about 3.5 years. So if you're talking, okay, next collective bargaining agreement, let's sit out a year. Let's wait. Let's try to get the best deal possible. Will never happen because the career lengths are so short. It's not like baseball. It's not like hockey. It's not like basketball. These guys have such a short career. You have to make the move. So Watson pulling this move, it's not a Jamal Adams thing. Like, this guy was put in charge, or not put in charge, but he was asked, who do you want to have in for your head coach? He gave 2 names, and they didn't want to interview either one of them. They actually just brought in Bieniemy recently to try and patch things up because they know they flubbed this up. Jets should sweep in on this, get their franchise quarterback, build around him, because you definitely can with all the money and all the draft picks. 100% on board.
All right. Well, I
don't know if any of us could even say anything.
The one thing I will say is
just say
sorry
that, and also I don't think anybody could disagree not pursuing him now after hearing Ryan just go off like that. Like,
give me an argument. Give me an argument.
And, like, seriously, and if you guys did not check out, Ryan came out with a very good video of how the Jets could build around Deshaun Watson. And it proves a lot of people wrong of the whole mindset of, oh, well, we can't, we're just as bad as the Texans and we can't trade away our entire team because we're not good. And Deshaun's going to be in another terrible situation. Well, Ryan completely just showed the world why that's possible. And go check out his video. So obviously Ryan had a lot to say, but Ali, what's your take? And can you add on to anything that Ryan said?
I mean, it disgusts me that fans actually don't want Deshaun Watson. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling. You want a franchise quarterback, right? I mean, you want a team to win games. You need a franchise quarterback. And you have guys like Deshaun Watson don't come on the market ever. I mean, these kind of quarterbacks do not. And we might get the better Clemson quarterback if we get Deshaun Watson. And, he's young. He's still young. He dealt with an injury. He dealt with a terrible organization. Now the Jets are on the right track. The Jets are in the right track. They're building it correctly. And I don't care how many draft picks it takes, because if we take Zach Wilson with number 2, I'm more comfortable with Deshaun Watson for the next 10, 15 years and not worry about the quarterback position at all for 10, 15 years. How amazing would that be? I mean, not worrying about the quarterback position. And again, one other thing, if the Jets don't pursue it, the Dolphins might. And imagine playing the Dolphins with Deshaun Watson and then Josh Allen against the Bills. I mean, we're back to the Tom Brady phase.
To New England, then they got a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, what if Stafford goes to New England? Like, what if that happens? Like, there's so many possibilities. If the Jets have a chance to get I feel like he's a top 2 quarterback, because in that age group with Patrick Mahomes and then Deshaun Watson. In that age group, I think he's top 2, talent-wise. So I think the Jets could build around him. Allen Robinson looks on board as soon as we get Deshaun Watson to come on board to the New York Jets. I mean, all these players are praising Saleh, and that's what a game changer like Saleh does. And I would love to see him with LaFleur's offense on this team. So if the Jets have a chance and Watson makes it clear, like with complete clear on a radio show or whatever it is, he goes live and says, I want to get traded and I want to go to the Jets, Joe Douglas better be on that phone. I mean, he should be trading whatever it takes to get Deshaun Watson. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, man, I agree. And the one thing we have to realize and put in perspective here is it is still an extremely unlikely scenario that the Jets land Deshaun Watson, right? This is a pipe dream for Jets fans. This is a thing that we never imagined as possible. And a little sliver of me thinks like there's a big chance that he returns to Houston. Even after all these reports, you never know what could happen in the league. But if he 100% wants out and he just doesn't matter who they hire, and that's what all the reports are saying. I see the reports from Schefter today. Doesn't matter who the head coach is for the Texans. He wants out. And all these reports, I hope they're true. But we have to realize there is a chance that 1, the Jets don't trade for him, and 2, he stays in Houston. This is all speculation of what we think we should do if he becomes available. And the other side of the argument of not trading for him, in terms of trading your entire franchise for him, you're not really doing that. I mean, you're trading your 3 future first-round picks, right? We have 2 firsts this year, 2 firsts next year. The reason why we're able and why the Jets are so linked up to Deshaun is because of the Jamal Adams trade and what Joe Douglas has done to build draft capital for this exact scenario. If we did not trade Jamal Adams, we would not even be close in the conversation of trading for Deshaun Watson, because trading your future third round, all your future first round picks and not have any left, that would probably be a disaster. We need to have some type of assets to build through the draft, because I'm always somebody that believes that to rebuild properly, you cannot trade your entire future for one player. But the difference is we're talking about a superstar quarterback. This isn't a corner. This isn't a defensive end. This isn't a lineman. This isn't a playmaker. We're talking about the most important position in sports. So if you can go out and land a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL that's entering his prime, you go and get it. I mean, especially because how perfect a position that we are in terms of ammunition, the draft picks, the cap space, everything in the new coaching staff, the system in place fits him perfectly. It's just literally everything is aligning, but there's definitely a good chance that this doesn't happen, because another side of me thinks, okay, Joe Douglas, he values draft picks and draft capital a lot. He loves it. He feels like he needs to be able to be flexible at all times. So I wish I can ask Douglas myself, hey, would you be willing to give up all your ammo for a guy like this? Or do you rather hold on to Sam, trade down and build around him? Or do you rather draft your own quarterback? Like, there's so many decisions that's going to be made, and it's going to be crazy, right? Jets fans, we're all divided on what we want to do. And I guarantee the Jets front office right now, they all have their own perspectives, and they're all going to get in the same room, and they're going to discuss, okay, what do we do? Is it possible to trade for Deshaun? Should we build around Sam? Should we build around Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? Everybody in the Jets organization are having the same exact conversations as all of us right now. So it is okay to disagree. Let me just make sure you guys know that. If you guys hear myself, Ryan, Jack, Ali say something you disagree with, it's okay. It's natural. We're all going to disagree about this. People in the Jets front office and the coaching staff, I guarantee you're having their own little disagreements right now. And it's healthy and okay to get through it. So let's talk about how can the Jets build around Deshaun, right? So this is the video that Ryan made, which was awesome. And so that's the whole perspective. If we do land Deshaun, how do we build around him? How is he going to have anything surrounding him in order to be successful? Is he going to be in the same, no weapons, terrible defense? So Ryan, if you want to give a little summary or how you think the Jets can build around Deshaun Watson and make him successful for the Jets.
Sure, absolutely. So the video that I made about it was more so like a very like cartoonish like sort of take on it. Like, I don't expect the Jets to get Robinson and Thuney because it doesn't make sense that Douglas would give up all the draft picks and pay a bunch of money and pay the highest, free agents. I think they're going to go a different route most likely with that, but that you can absolutely build around them. Like, let's say you go and you give up 3 first-round picks. Well, guess what? What's the bust rate of a first-round pick? You're talking 50% success rate. So one of those picks has to be used on quarterback anyway. They're not going to be rolling with Sam Darnold. I've seen Saleh's press conferences. I've seen his interviews. There's no way they're rolling with Sam Darnold unless they really don't like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. So for me, you give up the draft picks because statistically speaking, you're going to hit on 1.5 of those 3 first-round picks. Now, you know what Deshaun Watson is. It is a proven commodity. If you go in there, his contract over the next 5 years, super good. 10 million, 35 million, 37 million, 32 million, 32 million. Considering guys like Lamar Jackson, we're hearing reports that they're working on a contract already. He's going to get probably north of 40 million. Dak's going to get between 35 and 40 million. Josh Allen's going to get a nice hefty payday this year, if not, next season. This contract is going to look so much better as each year passes here. And get a nice hefty payday this year, if not, sorry if I'm getting a little feedback there. I'm getting a little bit of a loop. I think you can build around him. And there's a few guys in particular. Matt O'Leary actually came out with a great video. His mock off season for Watson is going to be pretty similar to what my mock off season winds up eventually being. He had guys like, I believe it was Romeo Okwara, the pass rusher from Detroit, Darby, the cornerback from Washington, who was with Douglas in Philadelphia. What was the other one? He had another one. Oh, Curtis Samuel. It makes so much sense as a Joe Douglas signing. Like, he's not going to cost a crazy ton of money. They're going to be able to fit him in as both the running back, the wide receiver. May not be the only wide receiver we sign if we go after him, but I think he fits the bill real well. Another name I'll throw out there in case Thuney doesn't, or Thuney, whatever you say, however you say his name, in case he doesn't hit free agency. I know people are going to be talking Sheriff. Kevin Zeitler, the guard from the Giants, is 31 years old. He's going to be a 14 or 7, it might be actually a $17 million cap hit for the Giants. They're going to cut him and save $12 million off their salary cap. At 31 years old, why don't we go up to him and we say, hey, you want to come here? You don't have to move your house. You don't have to uplift your family. You come over here, you play with us for 2 years, relatively cheap. Let's call it, $10, $12 million, whatever it is. Now all of a sudden you have a lot more inexpensive pieces to build this team around. Not to mention you still have your first round pick, for Seattle this year, Seattle next year. Like, the Jets have plenty of assets here, and I don't think there's any reason to be worried that we can't build around Deshaun Watson. I mean, when you look at the whole, when I did the video, I think it was wide receiver, quarterback, edge rusher, cornerback, running back, kicker, and interior offensive line. Like, you can literally hit all these positions pretty quickly with $60 million and, 7-8 draft picks after you trade Sam. There's no reason the Jets can't build around him.
Yeah, man. I think that the Jets could build around him myself, and you are hitting on the head of why we have the assets in order to build around him. Again, guys, it's a pipe dream. I'm trying my best to not go to sleep at night thinking, wow, Deshaun's going to be a Jet, because I know how unlikely it is. And I'm trying to avoid major disappointment. But at the same time, every time I tell myself that every day, the Jets are not going to get Deshaun, man. It's so unrealistic. Like, that's not happening. And then I wake up, oh, Adam Schefter says something that links the Jets to him. You know, it's almost impossible to not get caught up in all these rumors and speculations. So let's move on from the Deshaun Watson talk, and let's talk about the Robert Saleh's coaching staff, because that just got announced after his press conference, and we can talk about his press conference, all gas, no break mantra, all that great stuff. So, Jack, what's your initial thoughts of Robert Saleh's press conference, and you want to connect it to the coaching staff as well, and the mantra, all gas, no break?
I mean, yeah, it's all I've been thinking about now since Thursday. Just so hyped, man. I feel like it just feels great that all the fans can get behind one thing. You know, I feel like there's no debate over Saleh. You know, I feel like there's a debate over the quarterback position. There's a debate over, everything else in Jets land always. But like nobody has anything bad to say about Saleh. We're all unified behind this guy. It really feels good, man, after the nightmare we just experienced this past season. So we're just kind of on like a little victory high right now. I mean, at least I am. I wake up feeling good about this team, knowing that Saleh is going to be the coach. I mean, and he said it as well. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen right away. I do think he is going to be an instant difference maker in this franchise, though, for sure. Once it gets closer to like serious football time, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited, and I like the staff that he's been bringing in. I'm excited to see what the younger LaFleur could do. Unfortunately, we all just saw the older LaFleur totally choke it this weekend, and I was like, oh my God, I hope your little brother wasn't watching this. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We got some interesting names. Greg Knapp and that guy we were talking about, Calabrese. Rob Calabrese is his name, right?
Yeah, the quarterback coach.
He's an interesting guy. We finally got a quarterback coach as well. Thankfully, Dowell Loggins will be nowhere near this Jets team next year, because I don't know what that guy was. I don't know what that guy was responsible for the last 2 seasons. But yeah, man, it just feels good. Feels really good. It feels like we're on the path back. We got a lot to prove, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen right away. But the combination of Saleh and Joe Douglas, 2 bald guys. We need as many bald guys in that building as we can get. Like, we really do. Like, we need to fill that building up with bald men, and we will win a Super Bowl. So
you're right. Bald energy will win at all times. If you guys are new to the stream and you guys are enjoying it, make sure you smash that thumbs up button so we can get as many Jets fans in here as possible. Also, if you guys are not subscribed to Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, make sure you do so down below. He's actually going live in 30 minutes on his channel. So Ryan, just reminding you, whenever you got to go, don't just say I got to go and be out. Make sure you check out his live stream at 8 p.m. So, Ali, let's talk about Robert Saleh. I want to hear your take. What's your thoughts of his coaching staff and the all gas, no break mantra? Give me your overall thoughts about the new coach.
I mean, we've said it a couple of times the last 2 times we've been on this podcast, as I love the hire. I also have a personal connection in a way where he's the first Muslim head coach, and that made me a little bit happy, very happy for that perspective of it. But again, his coaching staff that he's bringing in, man, it screams experience. It screams it. And that Jets team has not had experience in coaching in a while. And this experience is with good teams, good athletes. I mean, a lot of these guys have worked with Matt Ryan, all these top-headed quarterbacks, these top players on defense, Richard Sherman, and all these top guys. And it's finally relief seeing that, we have guys that can win us ball games, a coaching staff that players will respect. And I think that's what Saleh's trying to do. The one thing I liked about what Saleh was, I think he was talking to someone in New York Post. It was not Brian Costello, someone else. He's like, are you going to have any rules? Are you going to have any rules for the players? He's like, nah, man, I'm not going to have any rules because these are men. I'm going to treat them like men. And, there's not going to be rules. Everyone knows what they got to do, and there's going to be no rules. I mean, that's the kind of guy. He's pretty much being like a friend. He's caring about every single player. He already said in the interview that he talked to every single player already on this current roster. He texted them, called them, or whatever it is, and he already did that. I mean, that's what a coach does, and that's a coach that cares about your team, and that goes a long, long way. When a coach cares about your team, brings the leadership to the team, bring accountability, bring some fire into the locker room. I feel like there's already fire in that locker room and no one's even in there, that facility yet, because I feel like with Gase there, no one really cared. I mean, they were just there. They're like, I'm making money. I'm going to go play football now. And that's what it is. I feel like now he's trying to build a winning culture. He's trying to do something to turn this table around. I mean, the coaching staff hires are good. Everything he says on television, on the radio is perfect. I mean, he has not messed up once, and that's perfect for New York media. He's a New York guy. I feel like he has a connection with New York with his brother. And, you know, I think this can go a long way. He has an emotional attachment to New York and Jersey and all this stuff. So I think this will go a long way, and I think this is a great hire.
It is a great hire, and I feel so happy that it is because we have PTSD 2 years ago from Adam Gase. 99.99% of the people were so depressed when we found out that Gase got hired. Ryan, I haven't heard your thoughts of Robert Saleh live. You were live on my channel when we initially fired Adam Gase during the celebration. That was awesome. So let me hear your initial thoughts. Where was Saleh ranked on your board before the whole coaching search happened? And how do you feel about our new head coach? And talk about his mantra, all gas, no break.
So I definitely did not have Saleh on my top 5 head coaches, like at all. And it's mainly because I wanted an offensive-minded head coach. So it was like Dable, Greg Roman, insert all the other names, Brady, whoever you want. But seeing Saleh not go to Detroit and take the interview with us, I was like, that's interesting. I didn't think that was going to happen. So when we got the first interview with him, I thought, okay, there's at least a shot he's not going to Detroit. And then getting the second interview, I was like, oh man, this is fantastic. I got all jazzed up about it. I like the coaching staff he's putting in place. I loved the idea that he was going to go after Kafka or with McDaniel or who we eventually got with LaFleur for OC. I think that is a huge get. I think the idea of bringing in a dedicated offensive coordinator, a dedicated head coach, a dedicated quarterback coach, a dedicated passing game coordinator is just so much more of a nurturing environment than what we saw under Adam Gase and Todd Bowles and everything like that. I saw we're retaining Boyer for special teams. I don't know how to feel on that. I'm like sort of hot and cold on it. It seems like he's a smart guy because he's made it through 2 different coaching regimes at this, or is it 3? I guess two firings and going on. The Jets, according to Sports Illustrated, were ranked 26th in special teams. A lot of that probably has to do with the kicker. That's been an issue for the last 2 years. The punter, while I like Braden Mann as like a prospect, he really wasn't all that good. He was like, I think he was bottom 3 in terms of like punts inside the 20. The one thing we do have to look at with all this is that special teams is such a depth-driven entity, and the Jets have lacked so much depth across the board with injuries, with just poor drafting. So I think Saleh retaining him is interesting because I think he's a good coach. I think he's also open to the idea of not just bringing in his buddies. Like, we're not bringing in a Dowell Loggins because we know Dowell Loggins. It's like, okay, we're interviewing you. You seem like you know your stuff. We're going to hold on to you. It's not just like my buddy from around the corner. So I like that about Saleh. I love that he's all about his players getting paid because the players are all about them getting paid and they want to see that. And if he has success, if the players have success, they're going to get paid. He's going to look good. It's a mutual relationship. I actually really like that. It's a nice player-friendly coach when the coach does not have personnel decisions like Douglas has, because then you can play the card of, okay, I'm on the player's side. I'm trying to keep you. Oh, hey, look, it didn't work out. We moved on from you, whatever it was. I think we're going to get a lot more. Like I said, I think guys will play through injuries more for Saleh than I think they would have for Gase. Him being a former linebackers coach is huge for us. CJ Mosley, we don't know what he's going to be for 2 years off. I mean, he might be a completely different guy. It wouldn't shock me if he was just a shell of his former self at this point. We saw what happened when Bell took a year off and he was working his tail off. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to be working out in COVID times, over the course of the last year. Who knows? Hopefully Mosley comes back strong. As far as the all gas, no break, that's how I do everything in my life. I wake up in the morning, I go to take my morning piss. I'm all gas, no break. I go eat my cereal in the morning. I go get a bagel, like whatever it is. I am all gas, no break. Ever since this man said it, I'm all on board. I bought in. I hope our players bought in. And I think it's finally exciting to be a Jet fan again after the wet blanket came off that was Adam Gase for the last 2 years.
Ugh, you're right, man. And I feel like Jets fans should take in consideration that Robert Saleh's mantra of all gas, no break is not just for the Jets organization, but it's for the fans. We are part of it. He even mentioned that. He said that this mindset is for everybody. All gas, no break. It's the way you approach life. You want to go to sleep better than the way you woke up in the morning. And you're basically just every day you wake up and you do everything at a 100% effort, and you try to evolve as a human being. And that's the mantra that he's trying to instill in his players. The one thing that really stood out to me the most about Robert Saleh's press conference of what he said is how he's going to treat his players like family. As we know, or for those guys that do not know, Robert Saleh is a huge family man. He has a wife and he has 7 kids, 7 on the way. And the oldest is 10 years old. So that's a lot of kids. His wife is the heartbeat of the family. He keeps talking about her, how obviously she's the stay-at-home mother that takes care of all the family. That's a really healthy, and he's a tight-knit family community guy that loves being comfortable. And right, he wants to build an environment for the Jets where he's going to invest into his players just as much as he invests into his own children. And that's a player's coach right there. And he thinks, I'm obviously quoting what he said. He said, like, and when the players feel that the coaching staff is investing so much into them that they're going to reciprocate it and go out in the field and feel like it's my duty to not let them down, because they feel like, wow, these coaches, they care so much about who I am and how I'm performing on the field, how I am off the field. And if I let them down, like, I'm genuinely going to feel bad about myself. And that's the type of environment that they're trying to build. Is the coaching staff is going to invest so much time into these players, whether it's off the field, issues off the field, on the field, their mind, their ability to learn from their mistakes, dealing with adversity. They're just going to get really deep into all these players, the coaching staff. And that's such an environment that we're not used to. Adam Gase, he came here, and as we all know, his press conference was terrible, but the overall consensus of that press conference was one thing. I'm here to do one thing, and that is build a relationship with our young quarterback, Sam Darnold, and make him a really good young star. And he failed miserably, obviously. That was his duty. He came here to develop a young quarterback. Robert Saleh, he's here to develop a culture within the organization and coach the entire team. So one thing I want to talk about with Robert Saleh, which is very interesting, is he will not be calling any plays. Everybody's assumed that since he's the defensive coordinator from the 49ers, he had 3 years straight of calling plays for the defense, and he did a heck of a job. He announced during the press conference, nope, Jeff Ulbrich from the Atlanta Falcons, he's going to be my play caller for defense. And that means that he's really that quote-unquote CEO type of coach that we all throw around. That term could be used in all, who knows what that term really means, but basically to me, it means you're the head coach of the New York Jets. You're not coaching the defense, the special teams, the offense. You're coaching everything. You're not one-sided. Like Gase was a one-sided, all right, I got to coach the quarterback and the offense. That's it. Greg Williams, you can coach the defense. I'm not even going to talk to them. Brant Boyer, you got the special teams. That's not the environment anymore. He's going to be in every single room. He's going to be in the quarterback room, the linebackers room, to the kickers room, to the entire position. And he is going to be the guy that's going to instill confidence in every single player. And that's what this Jets organization needs so bad. Wow, I'm happy that he's our head coach. So, Jack, what's your thoughts of Robert Saleh not calling plays? And do you think how do you think that dynamic is going to work? Do you have trust in Mike LaFleur and Jeff Ulbrich to handle their duties?
I mean, I do. I don't know much about Jeff Ulbrich. I know that Mike LaFleur has been with under Kyle Shanahan for his entire professional career. And Saleh said that nobody understands that offense better than Mike LaFleur. So I'm happy to hear that. And I'm just happy to hear that Saleh is going to be responsible for the entire team. You know, I'm sure that, you know, in certain situations, Saleh is going to take over as any head coach would and make decisions that need to be made. But that's a head coach's job, you know, so it's good to see that he's going to do that. And I'm just at the point where I'm going to support. Or most of us are at this point. I'm going to support whatever Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh think is best for the New York Jets, because, you know, I'm just so defeated as a fan, looking back at what the last decade has been, the last year especially, and now there's finally, like, you know, hope on the horizon. So I'm putting my faith in what these guys think is best for the team. So if Saleh thinks that the best option is for him to not call the plays and for him to just take that CEO role that we've all been talking about and that we're all looking for, then I'm all for it, man.
I'm all for it, bro. Me and Jack always joke around when Quinnen Williams gets a sack on third down, he's gonna literally deck Quinnen, punch him in the face with excitement,
Robert
and
Saleh's
Quinnen's gonna get up and
punch him
eat
in the
it.
face.
He's
I
gonna
just
be like,
picture I just picture Saleh like in the weight room and like he sees somebody's forms off. He's like, no, let me get that for you. And then he just pumps out like a quick 50 reps or something like that, you know, like he's just like gonna be in there. Like he's just gonna be in there with the guys, you know, like totally.
Savage, players coach. He's like, I want to meet him. I want to dap him up myself. Ali, what's your thoughts of Robert Saleh not calling plays?
I mean, you guys all said it correctly. I mean, you took every word that I wanted to say, but, I think, the accountability of a coach, it's finally coming to play for the New York Jets. It's something that we haven't seen. It's very refreshing. And he's definitely going to be involved with defense, offense. He's definitely going to be involved. And that's what a coach does. But openly saying that he's not going to call the plays, he wants to be the team player. He wants to be with every single person. I mean, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot for a head coach to say, especially a rookie head coach to come in and be, saying all this stuff, and especially on his press conference where he knows all Jeff fans are watching him. And it's risky to say, but I think he has a game plan. I think he knows what he's trying to do. That's why he's surrounded with such amazing coaching tree, experience and stuff like that. And he trusts his coaching staff with his mind. I mean, the time that he got hired, he said that that entire weekend he was trying to figure out his coaching staff before he had before he came to Florham Park. He was literally just sitting at the table writing all the guys he wants as coaching. And, he was calling them up. They were trying to figure out if he wants to bring them for coaching. And, he was ready. He's ready for the job. And that's why the Jets brought him for a second interview. That's why he's our head coach. And that's why Joe Douglas trusts him. And, I'm excited. I'm finally excited about Coach.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited about Coach too. Wow, it's such a relief to have all these Jets fans just agreeing, like, yeah, we got our guy. We got our guy. Like, let's hope that we actually got our guy, right? So, Ryan, if you want to touch up on Robert Saleh not calling plays, what do you think?
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to impact this team?
Yeah, I like it. You mentioned it before, the CEO role, just kind of overseeing the entire team. I think it's important. I think it shows that he's delegating responsibilities. It's not easy for someone who was just a recent coordinator to give up the power that they had for the last 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. I like it. I think it's a good move. I don't know a whole lot about our defensive coordinator, but I mean, I think it's a smart move. Let our head coach focus on the areas he needs to focus on as the head coach, and let your guys, deal with everything else around them. One of his 10 coaching lessons is control what you can control. And I think this is a really, really good example of that.
Yeah, man, me too. I'm excited to see what we can do with Robert Saleh. So before I let you go, Ryan, I want to ask you one question about this topic, and then I'll let you go to your live stream that's kicking off at 8 o'clock. So there's reports circulating the Jets are interested in safety Keanu Neal. And for those guys that do not know who he is, he was on the Florida Gators with Marcus May. There he is. And he is starting safety for the Atlanta Falcons. He was coached under Jeff Ulbrich last year. He's a strong safety. And they obviously have a lot of chemistry. And everything is aligned. Rich Cimini reports that the Jets will be interested. Who knows? But the question is, do we want to put in a lot of money into these two safeties? Obviously, we all want Marcus May back. So, Ryan, do you think the Jets should pursue Keanu Neal? Because I feel like a Marcus May Keanu Neal duo sounds awesome. But then the big question is, what do we do with Ashton Davis? Is he a depth piece? Is he a rotational piece? So just give your thoughts.
I wouldn't be upset with it. I think I had safety as like a secondary type need for us. I think we'll bring back Marcus May on some type of contract. I like Ashton Davis. I think he's got a lot of potential. If they think Neal is an immediate starter and they didn't like what they saw out of Davis, sure, go for it. I don't want to spend a crazy ton of money on it. I pulled up his stats because I'll be honest, I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about him. 6'1", 216, around a 4.6, 240. Pro Football Focus grades the last few years: 73.2, 72, 62.4, 43.1. This year was a 68.2. I don't know. I guess it's cool. It's not high up on my, I guess, priority board. But if they think he can help install a defense that he already knows the pieces of, the same way we were talking about bringing in a Richard Sherman or Ronald Blair, something like that, I think it's a smart move. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much money on safety.
Yeah, that's definitely the big question mark is do we want to put in a lot of money into another safety because we're trying to re-sign Marcus May, and that's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be ridiculously expensive. I'm hoping it's around the $10 to $11 million per range, but we'll see. I think that Ashton Davis showed enough potential in my eyes where he could be the starter, but I don't know, man. So Ryan, if you got to go and get ready for your stream, I'll let you go, my man. Thanks so much for joining in. If you guys do not know Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, I'm assuming you all do. But please make sure you check out his channel down below in the description. Thanks for joining in, bro.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Later, brother.
Yeah,
Good to
Ryan.
take it easy. Good to talk to you, man.
Take care, bro. All right, that's Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7.
And then there were three.
So, guys, to finish off the stream, we're gonna get into a Q&A and get talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But
let's get into the nitty gritty, man.
Yeah. So, free agent targets is something that I want to put on the bottom real quick. If you guys have any questions, shoot it our way. We'll be open to answer any of your questions. Let's do it. So first, let's start off with the free agent targets. Ali, do you have anybody in mind that you think that the Jets should really be top on their list in terms of free agency? And as you answer that, I'm going to look at the chat and then see which questions we should go about afterwards.
There is one thing I wanted to say about free agency is a lot of people are skeptical about how much Joe Douglas is going to pay, especially after last offseason. And I pretty much have to say with that, I think there's not really anyone worth it paying in last offseason. I think what Douglas was pretty much planning as a tank. I feel like he low-key was like whatever. And, there was not one guy, maybe like Robbie or whatever it is, that I would pay top money dollar. He was going after Joe Thuney, who I think he'll go full pursuit if the Patriots don't franchise tag him again. I think he is a number one target for Douglas. I think he will pay top money for him to get him because he knows how much of an impact he will be no matter who's at quarterback next year. The guy that I want actually is edge rusher Matthew Judon. I really do. He has a connection with Joe Douglas from Baltimore Ravens days. There's a chance that he slips from the franchise tag from the Ravens and becomes a free agent to make some money. So I think the Jets haven't had a pass rusher since John Abraham, since we traded him to the Atlanta Falcons in 2005, I think. And the Jets need a pass rusher. It's simple. We need it. I think Saleh's gonna be like, bro, I need a pass rusher for my defense. So I think Judon could be a target for the Jets 100%. I think the Jets are gonna sign an edge rusher. I don't know if it's gonna be Judon or someone else, but I think the Jets
Barrett,
have to.
baby.
Yeah, I like Shaq Barrett too. I mean, the Jets are gonna have options this year. They have to go out and get a pass rusher. And everyone knows my favorite is Allen Robinson. I want Allen Robinson so badly. He's that number one wide receiver that I want so much. No matter who's at quarterback, Deshaun, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, that guy is an impactful player. I mean, he put up numbers with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. I mean, he will be lighting it up with any other quarterback on the Jets. He still produce. He is getting up in age, but he's still at the prime age where he can still produce numbers. And I think the Jets will be active than most people think. I think last offseason was a little bit of Jets trying to figure themselves out. Douglas trying to climb out of the hole. And I think the Jets will be much more active, especially with so many free agents that are worth the money. I think he'll be coming out and grabbing a couple free agents.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting free agency. The one thing I will say is every single year, it feels like every Jets fan and I feel like every fan of every team, we talk about the biggest targets out there that's going to be worth the most money because those are the best players that are available are the ones that we want. But the thing is, it comes with a pricey tag. Knowing Joe Douglas, he didn't put any money into the offseason last year for free agency. He did not sign anybody for a lucrative deal where you're like, wow, that guy's getting paid a lot of money. So is he going to do it this year? I don't know. Is he going to pass on Allen Robinson, pass on Joe Thuney, pass on these top of the line guys? He doesn't want to put $15 plus to $20 million a year into these guys, and he'd rather accolade it and sign depth pieces around the board. That's kind of the Joe Douglas mindset I'm used to. And last year, if you guys remember, all right, who are we getting? Jack Conklin. He's the right tackle we need. We'll sign him for $17 million. If every year we go through the same rotation of, all right, who's the top of the guy? We'll give him this amount of money. And Joe Douglas showed me personally that he's going to be smart with his money. He's not going to tie in a lot of like ridiculous money for the long term unless he thinks that they're going to be a bona fide game changer. And we're not one top receiver away or one edge rusher away from winning the Super Bowl right now. We have a lot of holes, and that is spread across the entire team, whether it's interior offensive line, whether it's safety depth, middle linebacker depth, cornerback, edge rusher. I mean, the list goes on. Tight end, running back. There's so many positions that needs to be worked on. And that right there makes me think that Joe Douglas rather spend all the crazy money cap that we have, which is a lot, around 63, 70 million after all the cuts. I think that Douglas would prefer to accolade it like he did smartly last year, get the second tier guys for cheaper 1 year to 2 year deals. That's my perspective, but we'll see. Jack, what do you think? What are your projections for Joe Douglas in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. I mean, Joe Douglas has shown us so far that he's, like you said, he's going to be smart with his money, and he's not necessarily going to unnecessarily open up the bank, similar to like what McCagnon did with a C.J. Mosley or a Le'Veon Bell or a situation like that, So I think that going back to the free agent thing, I just really want to know. And I know it's the question that's on all of our minds, but I'm dying to know who our quarterback is going to be, because that's when we can finally start really putting the pieces together. We talked about Deshaun Watson going to the Jets for a half hour tonight, and it's an unlikely situation to happen. Like that's the mind of a New York Jets fan. It's like that's how psychotic we are. So I need to know who's at the quarterback position, and then I can start putting the pieces together. I'll branch off of what you said, Ali. Robert Saleh is going to want a stud pass rusher. It's something that we've been lacking for a while now. And, I love a Shaq Barrett, although he's going to cost a lot of money. But like a player like that, or I can get behind a Judon, although I'm not as high on him as I would be a player like Shaq Barrett. Or maybe even like a player like Ngakoue, although he's coming off of like a down year. But I don't know. We just need somebody who's going to we just need a presence on the edge. I mean, Saleh's a defense guy. We all know that. He's going to want somebody to complement Quinnen Williams and Franklin Myers. I've been saying this for weeks now. Once this defensive line gets a bona fide stud at the edge rusher, it's a done deal for quarterbacks on the other side. It's our defensive line is going to be fun to watch. So I'm really hoping that we can acquire a solid edge rusher. In terms of a wide receiver, I'm nervous, man. The Allen Robinson thing is obviously so super tempting, but then that brings me back to I want to know who our quarterback is going to be. And Ali, I do agree with you that Allen Robinson is just such a great player that it really won't matter who the quarterback is going to be. He'll still be productive out there, but I just worry that if Deshaun Watson doesn't end up a Jet, that we'll probably spend too much money on Allen Robinson to not be playing competitive football.
Yeah, and his contract he's going to get is like 20 million, like Amari Cooper a year.
So you get what I'm saying? Like I feel like if we don't have that stud All-Pro quarterback in Deshaun Watson, then Allen Robinson is kind of not going to waste away. He's still going to get his catches, and he's gonna be a wide receiver one on whatever team he ends up with. But I'm just worried that we would overpay him and then not win enough games because we just still have too many holes in other spots on the offense.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the discussions we're going to get from the entire Jets organization, from Saleh to Jaime to Douglas to the Johnsons. They're all going to discuss, all right, if we want to put a lot of money into a player right now, we have the cap space to do it. Which position do you think it's going to be? I think that out of all the positions they need to put a lot of money in, it's going to be edge rusher. And I hope it's a guy like Shaq Barrett. Someone like Matthew Judon, to me, I'm personally not high on Matthew Judon. I think he's way more of a run stopper than a true edge guy he's not a pass rusher. Like, he's not known to be a really elite pass rusher. I've talked to a lot of Ravens fans. The guy Cold Raven that went on the AFC East roundtable, he's a huge Ravens fan, Ravens YouTuber, and he was talking about Matthew Judon, how he's not an edge rusher. He's not a pure get to the quarterback, sack him. He's more of that run-stopping guy. And we need somebody to get to the quarterback, and that's Shaq Barrett. So I don't know how much money Shaq Barrett's going to demand. Who knows if he's even going to get free. He can easily sign an extension or get franchise tag. We went over this with Shaq Barrett, I think, 2 years in a row now. So hopefully we can get a big edge rusher, whether it's via free agency or draft, because like Jack said, Saleh's defense needs someone. I mean, he had Nick Bosa. He had so many elite talent on that defensive line, and we have such good talent on the interior defensive line. And you guys know him talk about Quinnen Williams, Foley Fatukasi, Jonathan Franco Myers, Nathan Shepard, all these guys. That's a crazy rotation on that interior defensive line. We just need a true edge guy, and our defense just completely unlocks to another dimension. So let's talk about someone about a very well-known guy. His name's Richard Sherman. So do you think this guy has a chance to be a New York Jet? Because he keeps raving about Coach Saleh. He keeps saying the Jets hit a home run. Deshaun Watson should go to the Jets. He's a pending free agent. He's 32 years old. Who knows if he has a lot of juice in the tank? And my perspective is, if we can get Richard Sherman here for a one-year deal, like a $7 million deal, and his duties to come in here and help instill the Coach Saleh culture in these guys, be a mentor for Bryce Hall, be a mentor for Bless Austin, all the young group, and then we draft another player that he can develop as well, and he can just be another Band-Aid. Like, he'll be the Pierre Desir of this year in a way. That's how I would think of it. So, Ali, what's your thoughts? Do you think the Jets should pursue Richard Sherman?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's a done deal. I think Sherman wants to be in New York. I think he wants to play for his old defensive coordinator. I think that's what it is, and he brings experience. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's been to the big game. He has experience at the position, and we need guys to experience. It's just we got to figure it out, because I think he's going to be a short-term deal. It's going to be a very short-term. Because he is old. He's definitely lagging in production now with injuries and stuff. He's getting old. So, I mean, Sherman may be a very small deal. I think he wants to play with Saleh, so I think he'll take any money. Honestly, I think he just wants to come in and just play with his head coach. I mean, he started recruiting all these other guys. So, I mean, it's not the worst case scenario. I don't think he's going to be a week one starter. If he comes, I think he'll have to still fight for a spot. But the thing is about Salah's defense, last year he played with scrubs. He played with bench guys, second rep guys, and he's still a top defense. And, that's what he tells you about Salah's defense. I know he'll be calling the plays, but he'll coach them up to play where at a high level, whoever's at corner, whoever at safety. I think the Jets defense will take a huge jump from what they had this year with Saleh taking care of it. But because he's able to notice the weaknesses and the positives of the team. I feel like he found the weaknesses in in that San Francisco defense, and then found the positives and used that to advantage, and that's how they worked. And I think that's what he's going to do, especially with the Jets defensive line, which is very productive last year and showed a lot of flashes. I think he's going to have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, he's going to have a lot of fun with
so I think he's going to go after the edge rusher position. I really do. I think either in free agency, I think they're going to do whatever they can to bring some studs in, some young guys. And, I think he comes. I really do.
All right, guys. So now we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, we're going to be reading them through and, have a quick open discussion. So if you guys have any questions, let us know, and we'll answer them. So Jets Q&A is now open. So let's see it.
Let's see it. The chat was live tonight, man.
Yeah, the chat was live tonight. Sorry that we're not reading the chat. We try to get like a nice show first and go over some topics. And then now at the end, we want to dive into your guys' questions. So let's dive in real quick.
It's hilarious because we'll be dissecting something, and then the chat will be like having an argument on like a completely separate topic. Just like I'll like say something, I'll be talking for like 3 minutes straight, look at the chat, and then it's all just like they're talking about like basically Sam Darnold and what we're gonna do with the quarterback.
All right, so first question tonight. Any chance the Jets draft a kicker in the late rounds? I honestly think they will. Seeing the rookie Tyler Bass from Buffalo, I feel like the Jets drafted Braden Mann to be their punter of the future. I think Joe Douglas is going to use one of those 6th-round picks on a kicker. I said this earlier on, and I feel like they're going to do that. We definitely have been rough from the kickers for a long time. We'll see. A trade for Watson cannot be announced till March, right? Yes. So March 17th is the official day of the new year. And it's going to be a long time to get there. There's a lot of speculations is going to be. There's going to be a lot of things. It's going
to be a long 2 months, man.
And no combine, which sucks.
Yeah.
How can defense be advocated for when Saleh made chicken salad out of chicken shit? Oh, we literally have no position set on offense except left tackle, nothing else. All offense free agents. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like we have a lot of things in place for us on defense, but you bring up a good point. Our offense definitely lacks the depth and the foundation we want. There's a huge question mark at the quarterback position. That's the biggest question mark in the entire team. The wide receivers need help. The tight ends need help. The running back needs help. The interior offensive line needs help. We need help everywhere. This is a franchise and a team where we're really far away from winning, but we got the guy in place in Saleh to start the process of building the right way and getting all these guys in there. So I think that the Jets are going to get, the organization is going to really, whether it's the front office, Joe Douglas, Saleh, everybody is going to get in the room together and discuss, okay, where do we need to improve on? Which players last year do we like to be part of the future? Is Chris Herndon our future tight end? Do we need to bring in another one? That's just an example I'm thinking. Is Michael Pirine and Ty Johnson going to be our 1 and 2 running backs this year? Should we bring in another one to be a free agency or draft? There's going to be a lot of discussions throughout this entire thing, and I'm excited for it to happen.
I'm going to start using that expression, chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you for joining in, and enjoy Ryan from Jets Talk stream. He's going live now as well. So we're going to answer a couple more questions, and we're going to end off the night. Let's see what you guys think. How realistic Douglas push for? Yeah. So Jack, what's your thoughts of how realistic you think it is for the Jets or in particular Joe Douglas, to pursue Deshaun Watson?
I think Joe Douglas has shown us that he won't leave any stone unturned. So I definitely expect him to, make a phone call at least. But I also think that, we've said it a couple times tonight, Joe Douglas is the type of guy to be more conservative with his finances. And I don't know how he's going to attack Deshaun Watson. Obviously, the fans are all over it. But we're all nuts, and we're all over any piece of news or speculation that we see. So Joe Douglas is looking at it from a completely different viewpoint than we are, So I think he'll definitely make the call because, as I said, he leaves no stone unturned. But I still don't think it's likely that Deshaun Watson ends up a New York Jet. Don't get me wrong, I would love it. He's a franchise-altering player, and we'd have the quarterback position locked up for a while, hopefully, So. That's something that we've been lacking for a while, is consistency at the quarterback position. And that's unfortunate for us, is something that you need to be successful in this league. So we've certainly been lacking that. But like I said, Joe Douglas is the type of guy, I think we've seen it over the course of his tenure as the New York Jets general manager. He's a little bit more on the conservative side in terms of who he's going to go out and get. We don't know if that's going to change now with a new head coach in the mix. We don't know. But I think he's certainly going to make the call. And I don't think Deshaun's going to end up with the Jets. I said that a while ago. I still stand by it. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, he'll definitely make an inquiry about Deshaun Watson 100%.
For sure. Give me the percent chance that Sam Darnold is the Jets quarterback next season. Ali, you want to take this one?
Compared to you guys, I have a different opinion on them for this year.
It's not even not your opinion, but the percentage chance that you think he'll be the starter next year. Like if you put your mindset of where the front office is kind of where the question is.
I feel like it's gotten much better, especially with Shanahan's offense coming into play. That's where I wanted him to go. If the Jets traded him, it was 49ers to be successful with Shanahan and that offense. And if they're bringing it to New York with LaFleur and pretty much their entire coaching staff, it's probably like 40, I feel like, at least. I feel like the Jets, I think with a new head coach means a new QB. I've said it a couple times that that's how I feel. I feel like when there's a new head coach, he wants a fresh guy. He wants his guy. And we have absolutely no idea if Sam Darnold is their guy right now. We have absolutely no idea. They're probably having the conversation right now and trying to figure out, watching film and trying to figure out if Sam Darnold's the right guy. Is Zach Wilson worth the second pick? Is Justin Fields second pick? Do we go all out for Deshaun Watson? They have so many options on the table, and we absolutely don't know what they're thinking. But I think it's a much better chance because people actually feel like Shanahan could have fixed them perfectly, and I felt that too. So with that offense coming to New York, there's a really good possibility that could happen. And I think, I hope. Like I love Sam Darnold. I think he still has a lot of potential. Obviously, I've said that he's regressed tremendous.
I think we lost Ali for a sec. You're lagging a little bit, Ali.
You're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. So what basically I'm saying, I mean, it's gonna be a toss up. We have absolutely no idea what their process is, what they're trying to do here. So I think he has a really good chance of staying, but also I want that new head coach quarterback, thing going on.
Facts, man. We'll see. It's going to be another decision that's going to be lingering for the entire offseason. When we were good is when we drafted DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Nick Mangold and had a great offensive line and a really shitty quarterback and still went to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row. So, yeah, I mean, this right here proves that the Jets thrive the most when we have really good offensive line play. We're very lucky to have a star in the making, in our opinions, of Mekhi Becton at that left tackle spot. And yeah, you're right. I think the Jets need to really prioritize that offensive line for the future, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. So that does it for this episode of Monday Night Sports Talk. We appreciate everybody tuning in to the show tonight. If you guys did not already, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to Jets Media if you are new. Expect us to go live every single Monday here on Jets Media. We appreciate everybody. Stay tuned for more Jets content here, and you guys know where to find us. It's a link down below in the description. Check out Ali on Instagram and Twitter. Check out Jack, his music, and all that good stuff. And you guys know where to find me. We appreciate, again, everybody answering, asking us our questions, staying tuned throughout the whole stream. We really do appreciate you. I just hit 5,000 subscribers, and I want to thank everybody for that accolade because it's pretty ridiculous how far this channel's come. Without you guys, none of this is possible. So, again, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Jets Nation, this is only the beginning. Only the beginning. AFC East Roundtable is next week, Wednesday. Not next week, this week, Wednesday night. So, again, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.